God, the men that you have been sending down on this earth, instead of treating women well, they are defrauding them. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Reni. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I appreciate you for watching this video. On my channel, for those who are new, on my channel I make content around financial literacy, career development, and lifestyle. So if any of those topics are something that you are interested in, feel free to hit that like button, and if you want to subscribe, you can, so you can see more content like this. Today's content though is a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Today we're going to be talking about something that is shocking, that is appalling. So, and it is actually a Netflix show that I recently watched. I recently watched The Tinder Swindler, and I'm sure if you are watching, you probably watched that movie, but if you have not watched it, go watch it first. It's on Netflix. Go watch it first and then come back to this, because I don't want to spoil the show for you. So what this Tinder Swindler is it is a documentary about how a man named Simon Leviev, yeah, something like that, how he defrauded 3 different women. And it's a bit alarming, a bit shocking. I was watching in horror as I watched it. Let me know what your first thoughts were when you started watching the video, the movie, because I was like, I was just horrified that a person like this can exist. Today, I'm going to be telling you 5 lessons that I learned while watching this show. I was shook, as I said. Like, I have no words to explain the horror that was on my face. I wish I recorded my reaction, because I was just like, huh? Like, God, the men that you have been sending down on this earth, instead of treating women well, they are defrauding them. One thing I was grateful about when I was watching this, though, I was grateful that it wasn't a Nigerian prince that was doing the scamming, because we have a bad reputation. We're good people, but we have this bad reputation. So I'm glad that it was a white man who was doing this. Okay, so if you're not going to watch the movie, but you still want to watch this video, I'm going to give a quick synopsis for you. So let's get into it. First off, the movie is it's a documentary, so it's a real thing. It's about a man named Simon who defrauded 3 women. He has defrauded way more women than that, but these are the 3 women that decided to come out and speak about it. He would go up to women and fall in love, make them fall in love with him. He would shower them with gifts and presents, and he was like, you know, he was treating them like baby girls, you know, taking them out to this place, taking them out to this place, flying them in their private jet to this place, and he told them all that he was the king, or he was the heir to a diamond empire. So of course these women are like, oh my gosh, this man is treating me so well. He's so sweet. He's so romantic. I love him. They would fall in love. And after some time, he would then say that his enemies are coming after him. And personally, if I knew a man that had some enemies, I would be running the other way. But no, he said because he's in this diamond business, you know, he has enemies and people are out to get him. So he couldn't use his credit card sometimes. So he'd be like, hey babe, can you send me $100,000? I need $10,000. I need $20,000. And the woman would send it. So he defrauded one woman out of, I think, $250,000, another woman out of, I believe it's $50,000, and then I can't remember what the third one is, but that is the synopsis of the story. The thing that gets me is that this man is still out there and probably scamming another woman right now. I asked on my Instagram what lessons that you all learned from this, and these are the responses that I got. I'm gonna read some of them because they were hilarious. Someone said, delete Tinder. Which is hilarious to me. I was actually wondering what kind of backlash is Tinder getting from this, but of course Tinder is not the issue, it's the actual scammers that could be on there. The next lesson that Ayomide said that she learned was ride or die attitude for a man is mugu for scam. Do not loan a man money. So that was one of her takeaways from this. And she said, I know a lot of women watch this thinking it could never have been them, but it can be you. And I would agree with that. It can definitely be you. Another person said, Be content. Greed can and will ruin one's destiny. And I think that was a key thing that happened to a lot of these women. Deji said was, castration should be a punishment option for fraudsters. And I must agree with this. I must agree. The next lesson that someone learned was, men will embarrass you. Simon said, if an adult says he has enemies, walk away from the drama because you're above that. And yes, I totally agree with that. Someone said that dating apps are the devil's playground. So now let's get into the actual video. Here are 5 lessons that I have learned after watching Tinder Swindler, and 5 lessons I think you should take. I hope this video helps someone to use their brain before loaning money to anybody. These are money lessons in general, not just for people you're dating, but for anyone. First lesson that I learned was that discernment is so important. And I know this is something that we say in the church a lot, like, God, give me the discernment to know what is right for me and what is wrong for me. But it is a real prayer point, and I feel like more people need to have that prayer point on their list, because in this situation, if any of these women had exercised discernment and saw the red flags that were clearly glaring, they would have made better decisions likely. I'm not here to shame the woman, because anyone can become prey to this, but yes, please exercise a little bit of discernment. And when I say discernment, I really mean learn how to identify the tactics of a manipulator. If we look at the actual movie, if we look at Simon had there were so many things that he did, and so many tactics that he had that showed that he was a manipulator. The first thing that we have is, one, he started love bombing the people that he was talking to. So when he came to Cecile, he was love bombing her from jump. So what love bombing is basically you bomb someone with all the love possible, and you're showering them with gifts, you're showering them with like compliments, you're showering them with precious, what are they called? Sweet nothings. You're showering them with love. And it's exactly what most people want. And then Cecile was like, oh, I've met my dream guy. Like, this guy literally ticks off every single box. And this is something that a lot of manipulators do, because once you fall in love with them quickly, you're more likely to fall for their scams. So after he did the love bombing, then he made her fall. Then he actually like professed a future with her, right? So he said, I want to have kids with you. I want to move in with you. I want to do this with you. I want to do that with you. A bunch of nonsense that he knew was nonsense, but to her, it seemed like, oh, like this is love. And that is one of the key tactics. If you see that someone's moving too fast with you in any situation, friendship-wise, relationship-wise, be careful, because why are they moving so fast? Why are they trying to get you to know you this quickly? What are their motives? Think about that when you are thinking of when you're trying to identify the traits of a manipulator. The third thing that he did was that he put fear into her. So after he had already made her fall in love with him, and he had got, like, he was quick with it, right? He made her fall in love with him. And then what did he do? He said, babe, I have something to tell you. I have enemies. I have people who are out to get me. And because she had already fallen in love with him, her thinking went out the window, and it was like, oh my gosh, babe, you have enemies? Let me help you. Let me support you. What do you need? You need money? I got you. And that was a mistake. So if she had identified the love bombing, if she had identified the rush that was happening, if she had identified the fear that he was putting into her, then she would have been able to maybe get out of the situation and free herself. The Bible, I don't want to bring in the Bible too much, but the Bible actually says, guard your heart above anything else, because it determines the course of your life. And this is so true. When you are in love with someone, you will do things that maybe you had never thought of doing before. So I want you to guard your heart before you even fall in love with this man. Like, do your due diligence on him. Who is he? What, more than just a quick Google search. We want to ask people who know him about who he actually is, and maybe we can make better decisions as a result. If someone is using fear to get you to help them, please run. Please run. If someone has enemies that are coming after them and you need to help them because they have enemies, please run. We are too old for this. We are too old for this. And if someone is having a very transactional relationship with you, where you give something and then they give something back to you, and it's always very transactional, please run. The second lesson that I learned, and this is something I always say, flashy demonstrations of your wealth, so showing that I have this car, I have this house, I have this, I have that, are not a reflection of what is truly in your bank account. I see this a lot with my friends. My friends will go on a date and they'll be like, oh, he has a nice car, his family has a nice house, he must be well off. And I always ask them a follow-up question. How do you know? How do you know he's well off? And they say, oh, because he has a nice car. Like, look at his car. Look at his house. Like, he has to have money. And I always ask, but how do you know he has money? Like, how do you know? What tells you that he has money? And then I think that's when they actually deep it, because I could have a huge loan out, or I could be house poor. I could be car poor. Having a nice car, which you probably have a loan on top of it losing value, does not mean that you have money. Please be guided. Just because someone has nice clothes, nice shoes, nice house, nice whatever, they take trips a lot, it does not mean you know what's in their bank account. Simon is a clear example of this. Simon was traveling the world, eating expensive dinners, whatever, but it was none of it was on his dime. It was literally using the dime of other people he had defrauded. So he would woo one girl with the money that he would get from defrauding another girl. What kind of life is this? And the reality is, you really don't know if the person that you're talking to is, if his money is his own or their money is their own. Of course, Simon's is a very extreme case. So I'm not saying that the person you're talking to, their money is from fraud, but it could just be that they're in a lot of debt right now. And that car that they have is literally costing, like, that's where all their money is going. Or that house they have, that mortgage is crushing them every month. So the moral of the story is, just because somebody looks like they have it like that, it does not mean that they have it like that. Point blank, period. Lesson number 3 that I've learned from watching Tinder Swindler, and I have a lot of thoughts about this lesson, okay? The lesson that I learned was that you should not give money that you cannot afford to lose. And let me know if you feel me on this. If I'm gonna give money to anyone, maybe if my mom needed money, sure, I'll lend her some money, but the money that I give anyone is money that I'm not willing to, that I can go without. I see money that I've lent out to people as a gift. If I get it back, great. If I don't get it back, well, it is what it is. I'm not, my life is not going to be impacted because I no longer have this money. Lending money is not the issue. Even banks lend money. Lending money to people you don't know is the issue, and lending money that you cannot afford to go without is the real issue. When I think about lending money to people you don't know, like, this girl lent money to someone she knew after a month or two, or I think it was 2 months or so. Why are you doing that? You do not know this person. When a bank lends money, they have all the information to know that if I ever think of defaulting on my loan, they have some collateral. If I have a mortgage with a bank, my house is theirs after I do not pay. They know all the information about me possible because they've done background checks. That's why getting a loan is such a difficult process, because they're doing their due diligence on you. So lending money is not the problem. Lending money to people you do not know is the problem. And secondly, lending money to lending money that you can't do without. I have to loan money as if I will never receive it again. If I receive it from them again, that is a great perk. I'm so grateful and whatever. But if they don't give it to me, well, I've lost a friend or a family member, but I'm not pressed because I lent it out as a gift and it's not going to impact my life. So I want you all to be guided when you're giving money to people. First, I would just say, don't give money to people. Be a Yoruba babe and don't really give money to people. But if you are going to give money to people, which I know a lot of people do, act like this is a gift that you will never get back, ever. When it came to the movie, Pernelia and Cecily were taking money that they could not afford to lose. I don't know how much they were making, but I don't think they were making enough to donate or to give $30,000 to someone as a loan. So you need to evaluate your finances before you can afford to give money to anyone. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So why are you trying to give money to other people that you do not have for yourself? So let me know what you think about that. Do you loan money to people? And if so, are you loaning money that you cannot live without? And are there certain situations where you would loan money that you cannot live without? Because for me, I don't know a person in this world, I'm sorry to everyone who's watching who thinks I would give money, but I don't know a person in this world who I would give money to that would negatively impact my life. I'm sorry. You're not God. Lesson 4 is, if you are still going to lend money, say you didn't listen to any of those lessons that I've already mentioned, say you still are hard-headed and you're still going to lend money to people, please do not go in debt to lend anybody money. Listen to me clearly. It's one thing to lend money to people out of the money that you have in your account. It's another thing to take out a loan in order to lend someone money. That is like, I'm stressed just thinking about it, but that hurts my heart to think that people are taking out credit in their own name in order to lend other people money. If they need the money that badly, they should go and get a loan by themselves, okay? I actually wrote down the amount of money that Cornelia and Cecily were sending. So let me read this out for you. Cecily, which was the girlfriend, she increased her credit limit at first. I can't remember how much. Then she took out a $20,000 loan. Then she took out a $40,000 loan. Then she took out a $50,000 loan. Then she took out a $12,500 loan. Then she took out a $10,000 loan on a credit card. Then she took out a $20,000 loan at Monobank. Then she took out a $15,000 loan at Nordea. It totaled about $250,000 in loans, and she's still paying it off to this day. Remember, if they don't pay you back, the consequences are not on them, it's on you. So why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? It's hurting me. It's actually hurting me. I can kind of understand loaning your own money out to somebody that you have in your bank account already, but I cannot understand going to the bank and saying, hey, I need a $50,000 loan, and you're pretending it's for you, but it's for someone else. My heart is hurting. And then when it comes to Cornelia is actually loaning. She was a friend of Simon, so she wasn't even like his girlfriend or anything. And Simon asked her for money. He asked her for $30,000, and she said yes, and she sent him $30,000. And then she took out an extra $10,000. The lesson I learned is that no is a complete sentence, okay? Don't let anyone push you into giving them money. Don't let anyone pressure you. Pressure is a sign that, you know, this is not a situation that we need to be in. So everyone be guided. Don't give money to people, especially, and don't take credit out in your own name. And another lesson that goes along with this is that if that person owes you money already and they're asking for more loans on top of that, say no. Say you loan someone $500 and then they come back to you later and they're like, hey, I need some more money. I need $500 more. Your answer is no. You know why? Because they haven't even paid you the first one back yet. Why are you giving them more money? Why are you giving them more money? If they haven't even paid the first one back yet, there's no need to put more debt on top of that. They have proven to you that they are not worthy of your trust, or of your money. So do not give them any more money aside from that $500. If you get that initial $500 back, cool. If you don't get it back, well, you take the L and you keep pushing. To give more debt to people who already have outstanding debt is confusing to me. The last lesson that I learned from this movie was that when you see red flags, run. Run. It is not a circus. It is not a playground. It is not somewhere that you should be, enjoying life. Like, red flags are clear. And I think maybe when you're in the situation, it's hard to see the red flags. But once you do identify it, like I saw Cecily and she thought something was off. Like, she was like, this is weird. But she always continued to keep giving him money, even though she knew in her heart of hearts that this was wrong. So trust your intuition would be my suggestion. If you have a bad feeling about something, your gut is probably right. My gut does not fail me. I feel like every time I've not listened to my gut and I've done whatever I want, it just ends in tears. So to avoid stories that touch, please, I'm begging you, just listen to your intuition. Pray about it. If you feel something's off, pray about it. Meditate on it. And then maybe you'll realize that, yeah, something is off and I'm about to be taken for hiria. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Stop trying to create a narrative and paint a narrative about someone that is not there. When someone shows you their true colors, believe them. People aren't lying about who they really are. They can't help it. They show who they really are. So believe them. Okay. And along with that, don't allow your new friendship or new relationship, romantic relationship or whatever it is, to let you forget the standards and everything that you know about money already. You are already knowledgeable. You may not know everything, but you know enough. And if something is feeling bad in your gut, you know that this is a red flag. So don't allow love or friendship to make you throw everything to the wind. Let me know if you like this kind of content. I actually recorded one for Smart Money Woman that's on Netflix, but then I don't know. I was like, are you guys gonna like it? Like, do you guys like this kind of content? So if you do like this, the way that I evaluate evaluate whether I do videos or don't do videos, it's by seeing those likes. So if you like this content, feel free to hit that like button because it really does let me know that you like my content and that you want to see more of it. And also comment below what your favorite lesson was or what lesson that you learned, and I hope that we all learned some key lessons from it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!